Manchester United are being linked to multiple attacking midfielders: Havertz, Van der Beek, Grealish, and now a few reports on Jonathan David. I'll be discussing why I think Jonathan David in particular could be a good fit for Manchester United due to the role that he plays. Like always, multiple reports are coming out that the Red Devils want to sign all of these top players, and a common trend we're seeing is that it's players who can play in behind the striker. Kai Havertz is drawing a lot of interest and a strong link to Champions League qualification rivals Chelsea, a player that does play attacking midfield but will regularly find himself out wide on the right. Van der Beek from Ajax, an attacking midfielder who has a great balance of goal scoring and creating for his teammates. In the season before the suspension, 8 goals and 5 assists in the Eredivisie. But this season he had been playing a little deeper compared to last season when he was starting at attacking midfield. He was able to score 9 and assist 8. With that being said though, even in the deeper role, he was able to have 141 touches in the penalty area, ranking him 3rd for players in the Eredivisie. He also fits the mould of a player Ole is looking for in terms of his personality, and this was backed up by Frank de Boer, who said Ole wants players who are humble, their heart is with the club, a team player. He wants players like Donny van der Beek. There's no doubt these players are on some sort of list, with some players prioritised over others. That order though, we don't know. The player at the focus of this video, Jonathan David, only had a brief link to the Red Devils earlier this month, and other than that, there hasn't been too much talk. However, I believe he'd be a great fit in Ole's team. So let's look at why the 20-year-old Canadian is such a top prospect. David was able to burst onto the scene in the 2018-19 season when he began to get some minutes in the Ghent first team. He was impressive from the very start, scoring on his debut in the Pro League. In the month he made his debut, he played 8 games in all competitions, clocking 243 minutes in August 2018. And in this short period of time, he was able to score 6 goals for them, meaning an average of a goal every 40 minutes. He finished that season playing 43 games, scoring 14 goals and getting 5 assists in all competitions. Now what you'd take from this is that Jonathan David is an out-and-out striker, he's scoring goals. But that hasn't been the case with him. Last season and this season too, David is a little different. He's a player that's used in multiple attacking positions: a striker, on the flanks as he occasionally has done for the Canadian national team, but more often than not as an attacking midfielder, being placed behind the striker and being given the freedom to get on the ball from deep positions. He's great at finding space and giving the ball carrier a good passing option. From there, David can turn the pass into an attacking opportunity, looking to create for the forwards or make a smart pass where he can then run into the box into a dangerous position and look to score. So David is playing the role of a second striker when he's playing in this position. Near the start of the season, Ghent were at home to Oostende in the league, and David was deployed as an attacking midfielder. The second goal from them in the 53rd minute shows perfectly how the position of David works really well in this team. Striker Kubo has the ball in a deep area outside the box and spots a pass for the right back Lustig to run onto. On the right flank, Lustig is able to see 3 men in the centre, 2 men in the middle of the box being marked by the opposition, and then David running late into the box, meaning there's nobody marking him, and when Lustig finds the perfect pass into him, David is free in space, shooting first time, not letting any defender press him, and finishing his 2nd of the season. In the cut short 2019-20 season, David has 12.6 expected goals, but he was able to score 18 goals, overachieving when it comes to scoring goals. And the same goes with the previous season, 8 expected goals and scoring 12. What this tells us is that he has great finishing ability, being able to finish chances that you wouldn't expect to be a certain goal. You could suggest that it comes down to a bit of luck, however, to do it in back-to-back seasons, this may suggest otherwise. David tops the chart in the Belgian league for touches in the penalty area with 136. That's 5.48 per 90, a statistic that shows his scoring instinct and drive to get into the box to score goals and create. And what David does to help get the ball into these positions is come a little deeper to collect the ball from the midfielders. When he receives the ball in the space he's run into, he can turn and run into the box, giving himself some options. As his drive is to score goals, he likes playing short passes or clever flicks to nearby players, where he can continue his run into the box, have it played back and finish. Or alternatively, like in the Europa League game versus Wolfsburg, David was in masses of space and started making a short run forward. At the same time, he took a quick look over his shoulder to see the striker in between the centre backs. The ball comes to him, and as it does, another look over his shoulder sees a defender pressing him, so David plays a clever flick to his right for the striker, but unfortunately his teammate couldn't quite get to it in time. This shows how David's awareness was great in a situation where he capitalised on the space he had, and as well as that, the vision for the pass when the defender was pressing him, showing how he can be utilised in different ways in his role. Creativity and providing for the men in front, playing short passes to supporting players in an attempt to score himself. So with this being said, how does he fit into Manchester United? I've watched Stephen Howson recently where he talks about Ole using the diamond because of the players he could potentially be signing. Now this is where I think David becomes the right purchase for United. They've just brought a fantastic playmaker in Fernandes. He's perfect at central midfield, being given the freedom to attack, create chances while having the ability to defend, which he's proven through his games at United. Put him alongside Pogba and you've got two players with top passing ability, once again the playmakers in the team. Behind them, Scott McTominay would be the right choice, adding the balance and being a defensive force in that role. With the creativity strong in that midfield, you can sacrifice that in the attacking midfield role and have someone who's looking to score a little more than they're looking to create. And with that you have Jonathan David. In the striker partnership, let's have Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood, and then you can have Rashford roaming onto the left where he likes to take on the opposition, Greenwood on the right as well, but naturally he is a striker, and I'd see him sticking to the middle more than Rashford would. And behind them, David, he's being able to provide a link between the midfield and the strikers, receiving the ball and playing it for Rashford in wide areas where he works best. But no doubt with the loss of wingers, it would give David the freedom to move into these positions to find pockets of space too. He isn't known for whipping crosses into the box, but instead when he's assisted from these wide areas, he likes to play ground passes and fast low balls into the box, almost creating the chances that he would usually be on the receiving end of, passing to the edge of the box where you could then find Bruno Fernandes or Paul Pogba, who we all know love to have a shot from that area of the pitch. Get involved below. Would you like to see Jonathan David in the Premier League? And if you're a United fan, would you want him in your side? I recommend that you don't miss out on future videos. Subscribe to Route 1 and like the video if you did enjoy.